Welcome to the Swamp Classic 2024. This is the Criterium of the Swamp Classic, which is a two-day event, starting off with the road race, followed by a short time trial, and then here on Sunday is the crit. I started kind of in the back, but I am in the points lead of the Omnium here, which I'll go into a little bit later on. The main thing here is that on the left, that was Taylor Warren in the pink and white of CS Velo. He's in second place behind me and my teammate Andre, who we'll see a little bit later. Andre won the road race and I won the time trial, and they were equal points, so we both have, I think, 41 points in the Omnium, and Taylor is like 36, 35 around there, coming into this final race. The crit, which has 5 points preems, and those points go from 5, 3, and then 1 for third. You can see Taylor shooting up on the left there. They're random points preems. We don't know when they're going to happen. We just have to look for the bell at the finish line and then sprint for those preems. So it's going to be big for us to get those preems if at all possible. Our plan going in was to go for those preems as a team. You can see on the left there, that's Chris moving up. That's what kit we were wearing during the day, the Pedal Mafia kit with Kingdom Elite Racing, which I was guest riding with for this race. Thank you, Perpinen family, for letting me stay and hosting me so graciously. This course is pretty simple. The last two corners are very sweeping, not even really corners. It's more of a first corner, second corner, and then you get to the finish line. So two-corner crit in a way. It's a crosswind across the start-finish. So you get a headwind after the first turn, and then you get a tailwind into the start-finish. And so we were planning on staying ahead with most of our guys, and then with me and Andre waiting until about 15 minutes in and then starting to attack. Let's jump ahead and look at 15 minutes in. 45 minutes to go in this race, and Andre, my teammate, is off the front there. I just passed by Taylor, who's again in third place behind, or second place behind me and Andre, who are tied, and Taylor asked me, "Hey, what's Andre's number?" And I pointed ahead and I said, "That's whatever that guy's number is," because Andre is off the front. I shouldn't have told him that, but now he knows, and Andre is soloing with 45 minutes to go, almost exactly like we had planned it. So this is a good move on us. It's going to put pressure on other teams who may want to go on the Omnium, and Taylor there is going to stay pretty far forward. Looks like Hot Tubes and the I think Velobrew team are going to ramp the pace up. Velobrew was doing plenty of pacing, and Hot Tubes was also riding pretty hard during this race. You can see up in the top right, my rear camera was fogging up a little bit. Sergio on my team and I did a 2-hour ride beforehand, and we got rained and hailed on, and the rear camera started to fog a little bit, so I've minimized that, and we're going to continue on with this race. Here we have a bell ring, so it is a preem lap. I've got to get as far forward up as I can, get as many points as I possibly can, and here I am moving up on the inside of this first corner just to shuffle in. It's a long course, relatively, so I know I've got time, and I know I've got that next straight up there to move up. Being on the left-hand side sheltered you from the wind, and you can see some guys off on the grass. So being on that left-hand side sheltered you from the crosswind up on this next straight, which helped a ton. Taylor there is attacking, trying to get across, so he's spending some energy that I don't have to spend, which is awesome for me. Thank you, Taylor, for doing that. I catch this little front group. That small gap is closed, and we are catching Andre. So now we are sprinting for 5 points. I have a chance, that's Andre there. I have a chance to get those 5 points. Taylor's pretty far ahead, but I know it's a long straight, and it is a tailwind. So I've got some time, and that's pretty far forward. He's going to have to kick pretty early when that guy sits up. And I've got Carlo here, my teammate, to drag him down if we need. We're getting close now, and I decided to go early, jump them, and I got a little bit of a gap to Taylor there. You can see in the rear view camera. cranked it into about 800 watts, looked back, saw I had a pretty good gap, and then closed it off just a little bit into the finish. And I just saw another bell ring. So this next lap, we have to sprint yet again. And I'm just going to shuffle back into the pack. Taylor back there got a little more separated from me. And so I'm just going to sit in and hope that happens. Teammate comes through, starts pulling really hard. We're going to make it. We're going to make it up there. This is an awesome effort. We catch this group, and now we have even more of work to do. One lead out guy, he's already been hitting it hard for a long time. He re-ups his pace. This Fount guy comes over and starts looking at him. There were no words exchanged that I was aware of. He's just like checking him. I'll have to check whether or not this guy was in the overall, but I see that they're not kicking yet. I kicked way earlier than that last time, so I'd go ahead and kick. Almost hit 1200 watts. The Fount guy kicks and then sits up. So I just hit it again and bike through him to the line. Got that. You can see Sergio got third behind me, so Taylor didn't get any points. Here's the tally. We're going to start running it up. So this is how many points I have. This is how many points Taylor has. And how many points Andre has. Still in the lead, still got it, can relax until the next one. Get passed pretty hard by that Hot Tubes guy. Let's jump to the next. 30 minutes to go in this crit. I'm on Luke, my teammate's wheel here. Just got an awesome lead out from Choopy. I'm going to pass on the left side. Chris, my other teammate, and Sergio, another teammate. See the bell ringing. I've got to move up. I'm going to move around this Velobrew guy and jump as far forward as I possibly can in the pack in anticipation of that next finish line. I've got Carlo up there. Carlo's super strong, great for lead outs, and pretty smart on the bike. Just got an awesome lead out from Choopy, which I know he's up there as well. Taylor Warren right there on my right, the closest in points to Andre and I, and I'm going to start moving up again. Hoping that Taylor doesn't really see me. I've got Andre right here on the right. Carlo's moving up to him. Taylor's right on their wheel. So we've got to watch out. We've got the Sharks incoming. And there was a little break right before this. So the pack's pretty strung out, and they're relaxing into this corner. So I know I can dive bomb it a little bit. I am on a cross bike, so can get away with a little bit more than one would be able to on a road bike. I see that go, but I'm not going to jump on it. I know I'm going to be instantly tagged, so I'm just going to relax and wait for my teammates to do their thing. Sticking in the pack here, I still want an exit just so I don't get swarmed into this. So I am sitting a little staggered over the side. It's going to cost some energy, but it gives me an exit until this Velobrew guy comes up with the full mouth open. No real words that I remembered, but that was interesting. I'm going to still keep the exit the best I can, and I see right behind me I have Sergio. So I'm waving Sergio on like, yeah, let's do it. Let's give me that lead out, dude. I need that lead out, and he does it. He kicks. I jump on his wheel. Got to do like 1300 watts to get onto his wheel, and we are zooming. So we've got up to 34 miles an hour into this finish line. We're good to go. If he can hold on, I've got Taylor in the rear view cam there, who's going to kick real early. So I've got to get onto his wheel, have to hit it at another 1200 watts. And Taylor looks back, but I'm going to just kick again and come around, and I had to bike throw him for this. Ended up getting second place in that sprint with that guy off the front there. So on to the points tally yet again, and we're going to have another point sprint coming up. Another point sprint, saw it right there. I'm pretty far back again, so I've got to spend a little energy to move up, but have been floating back there, so I have plenty of it to spend. This is Andre, I believe. Yes, Andre. He's going to need a little bit of a lead out. So we have Choopy has moved up, and we're going to hop on his wheel for this next sprint. This is awesome to have this many guys. Andre's probably going to kick early, and then I can come around if I need to, or just save the energy and go for the next one. So Troopy's going to start his lead out from the standard very far out, and he's going to keep the pace really high. We're already going 30 miles an hour right here out of that second corner. He's eventually going to flick Andre through here. There it is. And Andre's going to do his kick. So nice 600 watt kick, stayed seated, kept looking back. We were all looking back pretty hard. Taylor was back there in the wheels, just like ducking. So we weren't able to see him. Was kind of hoping that we weren't going to have to sprint too hard. I hoped he had moved back a little bit, but he jumped late out of the wheels and was pretty well hidden. You're going to see him on the right come out here pretty soon. Yep, there he is. And he's going to come real fast. I wasn't able to get this one, ended up third on this one. Points got even more interesting. Jump to the next. But I spoke too soon there. Zach Berend on the left here, he really wanted to attack over the preem, and so I got onto his wheel. This is right after that preem, and I kicked pretty hard around him, trying to maybe gap Taylor, which we did. We've got a little bit of a gap here. I'm going to push pretty hard, seeing if anybody's going to come through. I'll flick Zach through, and then we have this little group off the front. This would have been awesome. I was very gassed, and Patton Sims there hit it a little too hard for anybody in the group to manage. At this point, the headwind on this section was terrible. So sitting in felt super comfortable, but being out in the wind like that, you just felt like you were hitting gusts. The rest of the race would play out a lot like this, where people would attack into this and pretty much blow up by the time they got around that next corner, because the headwind was so hard and sitting in the field was much easier at that point. Next preem sprint rather, coming on here, and there's a group off the front. I am just floating wheels. The Falk guys kick pretty hard. Don't want to quite commit to that, but this guy does, so I am able to latch onto his wheel. I've got Taylor Warren on my wheel, so we are in about the same position we've been for the last ones. We catch this group who has just done a big dig into that headwind. Luckily, I've been able to hide in the wheels, but so is Taylor. So I'm going to hold my horses here, wait for the fast finish the best I can, follow this guy's wheel. This is an awesome place to be, but Taylor's also on there. We've got, I think that's Pedro off the front, also for Kingdom Elite Racing, and he is going to do his best to soak up these final sprint points. He's still riding hard. The field's really close to him, but he keeps the throttle on. I'm not going to pull back a teammate, so we're all going to go a little bit slower. 26 in this section where we normally are at 30, and at this point it's likely that there are going to be some attacks, but that's a pretty good gap. So I'm just going to try and stay up. This is a sprint for the 3 points, and Taylor's going to kick pretty hard. I'm going to jump onto his wheel, hoping to not lose those 2 points. And actually, I decided to go to the left here for some reason. Pretty narrow exit, but was able to throw the bike at the line to get those last points. Here's the points tally coming to the finish. The finish is the biggest deal, so I've got to get the best I can after doing all of those sprints. It's the last lap. Since that last sprint at 9 minutes to go, I've been working my way up to the front where my team has assembled. There you have Sergio pulling off. He's been pulling up the front pretty hard, keeping Andre safe. Hoping Andre can pull these last points back. I'm just going to sit on Carlo's wheel. It's pretty far back, but we hadn't been swarmed that much yet. You can see some of the guys trying to dive bomb me there. This guy in green particularly was getting up into the trains, and then Kelly Benefits, I think his name is Julien, there on the right, also making his way up pretty well. Hot Tubes has got a guy up here as well, and we've got to get our train going. So we want to hold the left-hand side. We've never ridden together as a team before, but the idea would be to hold the left-hand side of this corner and to stick together the best we can. Have someone on the back sweeping. Our intended lead-out train was, I think, Carlo, and then, or Luke, and then Carlo, and then me, and then Andre as the final sprinter. So we're a little messed up right now. This guy in green attacks pretty hard, and we're gone. We don't really have a lead out train left. Behind is a massive crash, and I'm just gonna have to float wheels, hoping that Andre is back there and good to go. I don't see Taylor anywhere. I'm just going to get the best result I possibly can. My heart rate's really high. I've done those other extra sprints. We're coming to the final here, and I'm farther back than I would have wanted to. Looking back on it, I probably should have kicked a little bit earlier here instead of, or maybe even hopped on that hot tubes wheel. But instead, I kind of kick on the inside here where guys are starting to fade just a little bit. Not really able to go full, and then stand up. Don't really have a ton left to give. Just going to follow the wheels in here. Try to kick. Not really a lot left. Maybe make it up to like 1,000 watts for this final sprint. Julien, the Kelly Benefits rider, ended up winning, and Taylor Warren on the left there just nipped me for, I think I got 6th place. I ended up winning the overall with Taylor in 2nd, Julien in 3rd, and then Andre ended up in 4th there. Swamp Classic, first time I've ever done it. Good time. Won the time trial. We got the road race with Andre, and then we executed pretty well for those points in the sprint. If you are looking for coaching, I am a coach with Evoke. Contact us. We can do a free power file analysis for you. Thank you again, Kingdom Elite Racing, and all the guys on that team for letting me race with you this weekend. Excited for some more hard crits this year. Thanks. See ya.